Okay, thank you for joining me on this Zoom call, Tom. You have been instrumental in starting the Three Eagle Trail. If I recall correctly, if you'd be willing to provide a little bit of your background there, and then we'll get started.
Sure. That was started in late 2003, the fall of 2003. And it was actually the Oneida County Health Department that was working with the North Central Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission to develop biking and walking trails in Oneida County. And two representatives from those organizations came to Three Lakes and hosted a meeting. And I was recently retired, and I knew about the rail corridor between Three Lakes and Eagle River. And I thought for a long time, boy, that would be neat if we could make that into a nice pedestrian pathway. So they came in, and sure enough, they opened up a big map. And there it was with a big bold yellow arrow connecting Three Lakes and Eagle River. And they said, would anyone here be interested in working with us on this? And I had to put up my hand and say, maybe, not really knowing for sure what I'd be getting into. But that's how it started. That was in, I think, the end of summer of 2003. And we had our first meeting. I got some other interested people together. We had a meeting in the fall of 2003 and got to work on it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So initially, what were your goals for the trail?
Well, it really was quite simply to take advantage of that abandoned railroad corridor and find a way to either bike or walk from Three Lakes to Eagle River without having to be on that busy Highway 45. It's just not a safe thing to do. And again, with the support of the health department, their goal was get people outdoors active. It's good for our health. So the two ideas came together, and that was pretty much our initiative.
So, can you tell me more about how the trail came to be?
Well, yeah, that was the start of it. We did form a foundation. It started out with just an informal group of people. And then Mark McCain from the Three Lakes Winery was one of the people who was interested because the railroad corridor goes right past the winery, and he was interested in it. And Mark was the one who pushed us. He said, we got to get organized. We have to formalize this, et cetera, et cetera. I wasn't too keen on that, but I thought, well, maybe he's right. And it's a good thing we did, because once we formed the foundation and set up as a 501c3, a not-for-profit organization, we were able to go after grant funds through the town of Three Lakes and the city of Eagle River. We actually worked with those two communities. We set up a multi-jurisdictional agreement that we as the foundation would do all the work if they would cooperate with us on working with other government entities. And it all worked out. It's to simplify things, we applied for some grants in April of 2004, and we got approval on some of those grants in the fall of 2004. And it took a while to get things going. We hired an engineering firm, we hired a contractor, and then we built the trail and we opened it up June of 2007.
Wow, I can't believe it's been around since 2007 already.
Yeah.
Gosh, it feels like it's just a staple of the town, and also that it's brand new. I don't know how that is, but it is.
Well, one of the reasons it seems new is that we initially we decided we would pave the trail with crushed limestone. And what that does is it allows us to refresh it fairly economically every year. We've gotten into the habit of hiring Pitlick and Wick to come in. They have a professional road crew that comes in and adds a little more limestone if needed and gives it a fresh grading. And yeah, it turns out just like a brand new trail.
Yeah, it really
And I,
does.
I keep saying we, but I'm out of it now. So that's, I have to make sure to give credit to all the people who are still there doing all the work.
Thank you. I'm sure they appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, what value do you think that the trail brings to Three Lakes?
Well, first of all, I would say it really is beneficial for the health of everyone in the community and even visitors to the community. And when I say health, a lot of times you think of, well, getting out and exercising, you're improving your physical health, but it's also good for mental health, emotional health. People who maybe are just having a rough day can go out and walk on the trail and get out in nature. And it is so soothing to do that. And it seems like all your troubles melt away and the world makes sense again. That's a benefit of the trail, but also health. In the first year that the trail was open, we got an email from a woman in Three Lakes who started walking on the trail every day. She lost 100 pounds and she felt great. Just because the trail was there, she felt safe. That was a safe place for her to go out and get some really non-intensive but regular exercise. And yeah, so it was the dream, like the dream of the Oneida County Health Department come true.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what they're going for.
Right, right. But then there's also economic benefit because, well, in addition to providing work for the engineer and the contractor that built the trail, they were all local engineer, local contracting firm. As I mentioned, every year we hire a contractor. Lately, it's been Pitlick and Wick to regrade the trail. Um, and that's not inexpensive. That's usually somewhere over $20,000 to do that refresh on the trail. So that's money that we're putting into the economy through our donors. Um, but then in addition to that, it also has the impact of making Three Lakes and Eagle River a more attractive place to live for many, especially young people with young families. And that makes it more attractive for employers who are trying to hire those people. And also real estate values. Anyone living near the trail found that their real estate values went up. So there are economic benefits to having that trail there too.
Definitely.
And then of course there's the environmental factor. You know, this is a way of getting outdoors and having some fun, exploring nature in a way that doesn't pollute, it doesn't make noise, it doesn't pollute the air. And also it creates, I believe, for someone who goes out, go out and just stand on one of those boardwalks for a while and look out at the wetland, and you'll gain an appreciation for the whole ecological life source that we depend on for our for our lives. So I think yeah, health, economy, environment, they all kind of go together.
And it's beautiful. It's beautiful to go walk that trail.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I do agree with you on that.
So, if there's one thing that you could change or improve about the trail, what do you think that would be?
Well, first of all, you know, we started planning it in November. We didn't get around to building it, you know, for several years, and the team really worked hard on trying to do the best we could with it. I think the result is excellent.
Agreed.
Um, and and when I say we opened in 2007, that really only took us to Sunstein Road, which is about 4 miles south of Eagle River. And it was several years later we extended the trail from Eagle River south toward Three Lakes So that was a second phase that we constructed. And that still, there's a gap because that one ends on Section 9 road. There's a gap of about 1.25 miles where you have to leave the trail, get on a town road, and then get back on the trail. So in terms of the future, there is an idea of trying to connect those two parts of the trail with, so it can be off the highway, off the roads all the way. It's going to be very expensive because there's a lot of wetland to cross, but it is doable. And we've already invested over $2 million in building the trail that's there. So what's another 2 million, right?
Oh goodness. So my final question for you this evening. How did people come together to collaborate and show leadership to accomplish this goal?
Yeah, that was really a lot of fun. I think part of it was that, this idea of building a trail drew an interesting collective of people. And we had business people, we had people with banking experience, people with outdoor experience, quite a variety. Some very talented artistic people were involved. And we met quite regularly between the fall of 2003 and the spring of 2004 as we were putting our grant together, a grant application, that sort of thing. And then after that, and in every meeting, we would sit around a table and kick around ideas. And it was a very congenial, open format where no one person had all the ideas. And we would talk about those different things and settle on something, and then we would go ahead with it. And it was just a true team effort that was really enjoyable.
That's wonderful to hear. That,
Yeah, yeah,
that's
it was
a,
a lot of fun.
that's an incredible collaboration, and look at the fruits of your labor. It's just such a huge asset to the town.
Well, I have to say that as I'm out and, even though I'm now living in Marquette, Michigan, when we come to the area and visit, we still get out on the trail. And as we do, and we see other people, especially the young families, but even some of the older people, and there are people now on e-bikes who sometimes or otherwise might not be out exercising. They're out there enjoying the trail. When I see those other people out there with those smiles on their faces, it makes me laugh. I just have to chuckle and think, wow, look at this.
Well, wonderful. Thank you very much, Tom. And we'll hear from more of the Forward Three Lakes videos on our YouTube page.